People compare Nocatee and Silverleaf like they're basically the same community, but they are not. In fact, choosing the wrong one for your lifestyle is probably one of the fastest ways to regret your move to Northeast Florida. Because on YouTube and online, these communities get packaged together constantly. I mean, I get it. You've got big amenities, new homes, golf carts, families, pools, walking trails. Well, after a while, it all starts sounding exactly the same. But once you actually spend time in both of these communities, you will realize they feel completely different. One feels much more connected and established. The other feels newer, faster, growing, and a little more wide open. One may fit your lifestyle perfectly, while the other one may have you questioning your choices every time you sit in traffic trying to get home. The biggest difference between Nocatee and Silverleaf has nothing to do with the homes or even maybe sometimes the amenities. It's the location and how that location actually affects your day-to-day life. Because on paper, these communities sound very similar. Newer homes, pools, golf cart lifestyle, walking trails, community events. After a while, it all starts sounding like the same marketing brochure, but with different drone footage. But once you actually spend time in both communities, they feel completely different. Nocatee is an incredible community, but here's the thing nobody talks about online. Once you're inside this community, you kind of feel like you're in a bubble. The community is so well designed with its own town center, restaurants, shops, and amenities that a lot of people rarely ever leave. And it sounds great until you actually need to get somewhere else. Getting into Jacksonville, getting to the airport, getting across town for work, Nocatee can start to feel more disconnected from the larger Jacksonville metro than people would normally expect. And that catches people off guard. They tour Nocatee on a Saturday, they love the energy inside the community and never think about what the drive looks like on a Tuesday morning until real life shows up. Silverleaf feels different. A lot of people assume that because Silverleaf sits further inland, it must be more disconnected. But that is one of the biggest misconceptions in this whole comparison. The First Coast Expressway is currently being built right through the middle of Silverleaf, and you can already connect to 9B from the St. John's Parkway. That changes the math fast. You can get into Jacksonville or out to the airport faster from Silverleaf than a lot of people realize. In many cases, faster than from Nocatee. Now, Silverleaf is still in a newer growth corridor. Everything out there is expanding fast. New neighborhoods, new retail, new roads. Construction everywhere. You drive through parts of Silverleaf and it feels like Florida found an empty field and took that personally. Some people love that because it feels newer, more open, and in many cases, you can get more house for your money. Compared to Nocatee, some people love that because it feels newer, more open, and in many cases, you can get more house for the money compared to Nocatee. But this is where people really need to pay attention. A community can feel quieter and more spread out and still be better connected to places you actually need to go during the week. These two things are not necessarily the same conversation. If you want the self-contained lifestyle where most of your life happens inside the community, Nocatee may fit your personality better. If you want a newer community with more house for your money and better connectivity to Jacksonville, the airport, and the wider metro, Silverleaf may make a lot more sense than people give it credit for. And if you're sitting there trying to figure out which one of these communities actually fits your lifestyle, this is literally what my team and I help people with every single day. My name is Andrew Michael. I'm a local realtor here in Northeast Florida, and my team and I help people relocate to the Jacksonville metro area from all over the country. So if you have questions about these communities, want honest advice, or just want somebody local to help you narrow things down, feel free to reach out. No pressure, no weird sales pitch. We're just real people helping other people make smart moves to Northeast Florida. All of our contact info is down below in the description, and we'd love to help however we can. The easiest way to explain the difference between Nocatee and Silverleaf is this. One feels like a resort town that accidentally became a neighborhood. The other feels like Florida's next giant growth boom before it fully explodes. And depending on your personality, you're probably going to love one of those descriptions and hate the other. Nocatee is active. People are outside constantly. You drive through Nocatee on a random Tuesday evening and it looks like the entire community collectively conspired to keep everybody outside of their house. And the amenities are definitely a huge reason why. You've got the Splash Water Park, lazy river, water slides, fitness center, trails, parks, playgrounds. This place was very clearly designed around keeping people out and doing those things. Some neighborhoods throw in a pool and then they call that an amenity package. Nocatee basically built a mini resort and then they surrounded it with houses afterwards. And the golf cart culture there is very real. People take golf carts to dinner, to Publix, to coffee shops, to community events. At some point, you stop questioning it and you start wondering if your car battery is going to develop self-esteem issues. Then you've got places like the Kookaburra, where half the community seems to gather at some point in the week. Some people absolutely love that environment. They want energy around them. They want activity. They want their neighborhood to feel social and they want it to feel alive. Other people, they spend 20 minutes there and immediately think, yeah, I need everyone to just calm down a little. And that's where Silverleaf starts attracting a different type of person. Silverleaf still has amenities. It's got parks, it has sidewalks, pools, and community spaces, but the overall atmosphere is quieter right now. It's more spread out, it's less packed, less polished, less master plan community, but on espresso. The area still feels heavily in growth mode though. New neighborhoods keep showing up, roads are expanding, new retail is coming out constantly. You drive around Silverleaf, every few months there's something new getting built somewhere. Some people love that because it feels newer, less crowded, and a little more relaxed overall compared to Nocatee. And in a lot of cases, people also feel like they're getting more house for their money there. Some people want the high energy community atmosphere. Other people want enough breathing room where they don't feel like they're living inside of a suburban theme park. Neither one is right and neither one is wrong, but choosing the wrong fit for your family's personality, well, that will get old real fast. Most people spend hours comparing home prices, amenities, builder upgrades, and then end up choosing the community that annoys them every single day because they ignored the neighborhood layout. And that matters a lot more than people think, because the layout of a community changes your entire day-to-day experience. Traffic inside the neighborhoods, how close your neighbors are, whether the streets feel busy or quiet, whether the landscaping feels mature or brand new, whether the community feels finished or still under construction. And this is where Nocatee and Silverleaf start becoming very different. Nocatee is the more mature, established community. Overall, the development spans over 13,000 acres with nearly 50 different neighborhoods. And because it's been developing since around 2005, a lot of sections have mature landscaping, larger trees, established trails, and a much more finished look. But not every section of Nocatee will feel the same. That's something people get wrong constantly. 20 Mile has a very different look than Crosswater. Coastal Oaks feels different than Seabrook. Some neighborhoods have larger preserved lots and more spacing between the homes, while the other sections are noticeably denser with tighter streets, smaller lots, and more homes packed together. And because Nocatee is so connected with trails, golf cart paths, parks, and town center access, there's constant movement through the community. People outside, golf carts everywhere, kids riding bikes, people walking trails, community traffic moving around all day. Some people absolutely love that because it makes the community feel active and alive. Other people drive through immediately think, this is way too much stimulation for me. This is where people start changing their minds. Because up until this point, a lot of the comparison between Nocatee and Silverleaf comes down to lifestyle and location. Then people start looking at the actual home prices and suddenly the conversation gets very real. Right now, Nocatee's median home pricing is sitting roughly in the mid to upper 600s, depending on whether you're looking at sold homes or active listings. Silverleaf is sitting closer to the high 400s to even the low 500,000s overall. So you're potentially looking at well over $150,000 difference between these two communities. And that's usually when people pause for a second, because Nocatee absolutely comes with a premium. You're paying for location and proximity to the beaches, established infrastructure, mature landscaping, completed amenities, and a community that has a strong reputation across Northeast Florida. At this point, you're probably already leaning towards one of these two communities. Most people are, because once you stop looking at the marketing and actually think about how you want your day-to-day life to look, these communities start separating pretty quickly. The people I see happiest in Nocatee usually like being around activity. They like walking outside and seeing people out doing stuff. The people I see happiest in Silverleaf usually care more about space and having a little more breathing room around them. They like newer homes, bigger floor plans, wider open areas, quieter streets, and a lot of them care more about maximizing what they're getting for their money than being right in the middle of everything. So after comparing location, commute, neighborhood layout, lifestyle, amenities, pricing, and the type of people that actually enjoy each community the most, here's the final verdict. Neither Nocatee or Silverleaf is objectively better. They're just better for different people. And that's also the biggest mistake people make when comparing master plan communities. They try to win the comparison instead of figuring out which environment they'll actually enjoy living in 5 years from now, because these communities solve different problems. So hopefully this video helped give you a much clearer picture of the real differences between Nocatee and Silverleaf. And if you're planning a move to Jacksonville area and trying to figure out which community actually fits your lifestyle best, my team and I would love to help you through that process. My name is Andrew Michael. I'm a local realtor here in Northeast Florida, and my real estate team, the Coastal Haven Group, and I help people relocate to Jacksonville every single week. So whether you're moving next month, 6 months from now, or you're just starting to figure out which areas even make sense for you, feel free to reach out anytime. Seriously, ask questions. Tell us what you're looking for. Tell us what you're worried about. Tell us what you absolutely do not want. That's usually just as important as what you do want. There's no pressure, there's no awkward sales pitch, and there's no one's going to give you a call 47 times because you downloaded our relocation guide. We're just real people helping other people figure out where they'll be happiest living in Northeast Florida. And if you're just not ready yet, that's completely okay too. You're still in research mode. And honestly, that's exactly what this channel is here for. So keep watching. I've got community tours, home tours, area breakdowns, cost of living videos, and everything else that helps you paint the real picture of what it's actually like living in Jacksonville, Florida, and the overall Northeast Florida, Jacksonville metro area. You can click on that video on your screen and keep learning more about Jacksonville, Florida right now. My name is Andrew Michael. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to meeting you in person. Take care.